Hey, good time of day, folks. This is Sharky Pro Driver, and this is the IB Survivor Diary. Another week of school passed, another week of school is coming up, but this one is right before the vacation. However, in this last week before the vacation, there are two major tests coming up. Basically, the economics test and the biology test. And basically, I decided to show how I studied for both of them. In this video, I'll be covering my economics test using my economics notebook. Let's jump right into it. The topic is demand and supply. Let's start with demand. The official definition of demand is quantity of a commodity a consumer is ready to buy at a specific price at a given time. Let's make a real-life example. If I go into the video games shop and I see a Call of Duty that's recently come out and costs 20 euros. If I want Call of Duty, and if I have 20 euros at a given time, I will buy it. So basically, in simple words, is demand means like your wish to buy something if you have the money at a given time. Simple as it is. Now, what you always need to know is that price and demand are indirectly related. What does it mean? Well, this hand is going to be price and this hand is going to be demand. Imagine that if price goes up, demand will go down. Vice versa, if demand will go up, the price will go down. That's for the graphing, and basically, so you know how it works. There are a few exceptions to, of course, but we didn't really cover them up. But basically, if you really want me to name one, example is Veblen goods. No matter how high the price goes for Veblen goods, the demand for them will always go up. Why? Because Veblen goods are basically goods that are super expensive and used to show off the wealth of the person who possesses such a good. Therefore, no matter how high the price, the demand for them will also be high. Now, let me show you how a demand curve looks like. Basically, like that. This one, not that one. Well, that as well, but let's focus on this for now. Basically, on the y-axis, you have the price, and on the x-axis, you have the quantity of the demand. And the curve goes downwards, not like that. If the curve goes like this, how my finger is showing, it's a supply, not a demand curve. That is a demand curve. So, now that we know that, let's talk about the factors that affect demand. In our course, we captured 9. 5 of them are main factors, and 4 of them aren't main. And basically, when I first sketched all the graphic representation of those factors, my reaction was, what are those? Because they all look the freaking same. Like, don't they? Don't they? Really? But let's work through all of them. The first factor is the price of the commodity, which I kind of talked about before. Basically, it is indirectly related. If price goes up, demand goes down. If demand goes up, price goes down. Kind of covered that, huh? Which is good. Now, price of related goods. There are 2 types of goods that we covered. The substitute goods and complementary goods. Substitute goods that are goods that can be used in place of each other. So, for example, it can be Call of Duty and Battlefield. Although I like Battlefield more, those two are substitute goods. And basically, if price of good 1 goes up, the demand for good 2, so the other substitute good, goes up because the first good is more expensive, so people will go and buy the other good. And vice versa, if price for good 1 goes down, the demand for good 2 will go down because now good 1 is cheaper, everybody would like to buy good 1. Now, then we can talk about the income, and that's where we have the normal and inferior goods. And basically, normal goods are goods of high quality, or just regular quality goods. For example, the normal t-shirt, the car, the bag, etc. So to understand the difference between normal and inferior goods are goods that are of low quality. So for example, second-hand car, second-hand t-shirt, and etc. And basically, with the income, when income rises, the demand for normal goods also rises. because when we earn more money, we want to buy things that are better quality. However, if income goes down, the demand for normal goods also goes down, simply because we cannot afford them with low income. And now, the inferior goods, there is an indirect relationship, which means that if income goes up, the demand for inferior goods goes down. Why? Well, duh, because you don't want to buy second-hand stuff when you have enough money to buy normal stuff. However, vice versa, if the income goes down, the demand for inferior good goes up, because you do not have enough money to purchase the normal good, so you have to stick to second-hand or inferior good. Now, we have also tastes and preferences, and basically, it's when I like something more than the other. I already talked about Battlefield and Call of Duty. I like Battlefield more, so I will buy Battlefield and not Call of Duty. If somebody else likes Call of Duty and not Battlefield, they will buy Call of Duty and not Battlefield. That's basically as simple as it is. And we also have the future expectations, and that's a little bit of a mess because I don't like traveling to the future or to the past, but that's the whole issue about it. If we see that tomorrow the price for a Battlefield game will increase by 10 euros, of course we would like to buy this game today. This means if the future price rises, the current today demand also rises. And vice versa, if the future price falls down, the today demand also falls down. So, a little bit tricky there, but I hope this is kind of clear enough. And then we have 4 additional factors that can also affect demand. It's basically seasonal change. So let's say in winter, I would like to buy a warm coat and not like swimming trunks, because I don't need swimming trunks in winter. There are also government policies, which are basically taxes, and let's say, for example, people smoke cigarettes, so government enforces big taxes on cigarettes, and now people don't really want to buy cigarettes because they're so damn expensive. Another is the income distribution, so basically rich and poor, and rich, if there are rich people, too many rich people in the society, the economics will focus on supplying the normal or high quality goods. If there are a lot of poor people in society, there will be a big demand for low quality goods. Kind of makes it simple. And the last is change in age, because please tell me that we don't really need Pampers when we're at like 18 years of age. Pampers, I don't know the correct English name, but basically it's what babies used to shit into because they don't wear underwear yet. For example, like this. So with change in age, demand for certain goods falls and for others rises. Basically as simple as that. A lot of talking. Now we've talked about demand, let's talk about supply. The official definition for supply is quantity of a commodity which a seller is ready to sell at a particular price at a given time. So if a seller has Battlefield game and he says, I want to sell it at 20 euros, and he will put it on the stock. That's basically a supply. So in plain simple words, the supply is how many things you can supply for a certain price at a given time. Hope this makes it simple. Now that, ladies and gentlemen, is the supply curve. As you can see, it goes like that. Again, the price is on the y-axis and the, what's that? Oh yeah, and the quantity or supply is on the x-axis. Simple as that, nothing to worry about. Now, factors affecting supply. The first factor is the price of the commodity. Now, if the price for the commodity goes up, of course the supplier would like to supply more of the commodity or a good, because, well, if Battlefield costs now 30 euros and not 20 euros, of course people would like to sell it more because it earns more money, and vice versa. If price falls down, so does the supply, because nobody wants to sell things at a cheap price. Now we also have the cost of factors of production. In simple English, it means basically how much it costs to produce a certain good. And basically when the cost of production increases, the supply goes down because it takes more money to produce the same amount of things. And vice versa, when in fact cost of production goes down, the supply increases because we now can supply more things for the same price. We also have the state of technology, and the state of technology is basically how improved technologically our manufacturing industrialization is. So for example, if the technology is at a higher level, we can supply more things, and if technology is at a low level and we have to work things with our hands, the supply is less. Magic. And there are three more factors. Basically, the government intervention. If government decides to impose taxes, well, the supply would drop down. Will it drop down? Yes, it will drop down. I know it. The supply will drop down because now we need to pay more of the money to the government, so we would like to produce less of this good. And vice versa, if the tax goes down, we would like to supply more because now more money will go to the supplier. One more is future expectations. Again, I hate future expectations. It's like, how do you know if the thing will be more expensive or cheaper tomorrow? There are so many things affecting it, like literally. It's future, it's unpredictable. Anyways, that's a different topic, that's still okay. Anyways, so when the future price goes up, the current supply will go down because we want to save more things for tomorrow to sell them at a high price. And vice versa, when the future price goes down, we would like to sell more things today because at this current state they're still cheaper. And finally, the last is the price of other products. It basically substitute goods, and if price of one product falls, the supply for the other products so basically, if price of one product falls, the supply of the other product rises because we can sell the second product at a higher price and the first one is kind of cheaper, so we don't want to sell it. And vice versa, if the price of a certain product goes up, the supply for the other product goes down because now we can sell the first product at a more expensive price. Well, that's about all for the demand and supply I could cover in my video, except there is one more thing. Basically, shifts and movements along the line. We have a shift in the demand curve, we have a shift when you talk about the price, because the price is still on the one graph. However, if you talk about, for example, the demand, which falls and goes down, for example, for the substitute and complementary goods, we talk about the shifts of the curve to the left and to the right. And basically, shift of the curve to the left means there is less supply, and shift of the curve to the right means there is more shift of the curve to the left means there is less demand, and shift of the curve to the right means there is more demand. Apologize. And when we talk about the supply, the curve also moves to the left and to the right. And basically, shift of the curve to the left means there is less supply, and shift of the curve to the right means that there is more supply. Simple as that is. And basically that's how I studied for my economics test. Well, on this friendly note, I'm gonna tell you goodbye. This was Sharky Pro Diver, and see you.